Hello, gentle souls. As I was preparing, I heard there's a lot going on. So, yeah, I think that's why I'm doing this wide format video instead of a short. And I actually had things to do this morning and errands to run. But when spirit calls, one must answer. Have Earth and South Node. Characteristics for Earth are persistence, patience, and practicality. South Node is destined to release. The other thing about the South Node when you're reading someone's chart is it's things that it's like the scaffolding that your soul uses to reach its North Node. Let's see what else we have. I have no idea what the message is. I guess I'll play this back after I do it and figure out what I'm going to call it. But perhaps Spirit has a lot to say. This card fell on the floor. Oh, it's the Moon. Queen of Swords. And the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. With the Moon and the keywords on the South Node card destined to release, I think it's saying release your fears. That's something I'm definitely hearing. And with the Queen of Swords, an interesting little detail I noticed about this card a little while ago is that there's a cup in here, but it's kind of jailed away underneath her pedestal. And it's not, I think generally people think that the Queen of Swords is cold and that she doesn't have any emotions or feeling. But so I think it's interesting that this person who illustrated this deck included a cup in here. It's like she keeps her emotions locked down so that she can have a clear head to make rational decisions. And I think that, and the way I've laid these out, even, the line in the horizon lines up with the water line in the Moon card. So the emotions are beneath the surface. In that same sense of fear, perhaps there's a fear that you're not going to have this tangible happily ever after, with all manner of earthly abundance, being able to have everything that you need when you need it, love, a family, things like that. The Queen of Pentacles at the bottom, they're generally how I look at the court cards, or how I learned them, is hierarchy, the suit, the element, and in terms of king and queen, you have masculine and feminine. With this at the bottom of the deck, it kind of makes me feel like you need to be receptive to this Monarch of Pentacles energy. King and Queen of Pentacles, they know and trust that they are abundant and they are comfortable. You can see it with how peaceful they both look. So I'm feeling like you need to be receptive, because this is the Queen, receptive of this energy of abundance. Let's see what else pops out. this. Have the Queen of Cups. Lots of queens in here. So we had the Queen of Cups. We had. Oh, it needs to go here. We had the Queen of Cups. We had the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the Queen of Swords. Eight of Swords at the bottom. Yeah, there's like a fear energy here. Oh, or like limitations. Yeah. Because in the Eight of Swords, in the Rider Waite Smith version, the girl is bound, but like loosely bound. And so she feels as though she's restricted. So release yourself from things that are binding you. So now we have Fool, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Something is missing. Could it be? Moment to see what it's telling me. Oh, all three of them have the same direction of energy. They're all kind of going up and to the right. So that tells me that things are flowing in the direction that they should, especially with this water here, the Queen of Cups. It's funny with this deck, I don't think I pull the Queen of Cups very often. Hmm. It's funny looking at it, like the difference between the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Swords has her emotions locked away, and it's almost like in this illustration that the Queen of Cups is praising her emotions. Ooh, okay, so maybe you keep your emotions just like locked down tight. Um, and perhaps how you help release these fears that you have is by letting your emotions flow. Emotions are, I don't want to say they're not real, but they're like signs and signals to like your body and your mind about what you're picking up on. Uh, think of like a pond of water. Maybe not a pond, maybe more like a lake. And well, some people, there might be oceans. Some people might be lakes, and some people might be ponds. Some people are puddles. And you could be at one end of this body of water, and at the other end, someone could, drop a rock in it or something. And the ripples will go through that water, the shockwave will go through the water, and eventually it will get to the end that you're at. So when I say, some people, there are various different kinds of bodies of water, and I think that's how some people act with their emotions. You could be in the Pacific Ocean, or on the U.S. side of the Pacific Ocean, and drop a rock into the ocean, and it would take forever for someone to notice that something had been dropped in, um, over in like Japan. Now the shockwave would get there eventually after getting filtered through all kinds of fauna and flora and currents and weather patterns and things like that and ships and whatnot. But there would be a change, no matter how like minuscule or minute it might be. You hear stories about uh, strange things in the geological record in certain places, and they have no idea how or why. It looks like an explosion had happened or something, and it's really like um, some big crazy like tsunami or landslide had happened, or yeah, a tsunami was caused because of the opposite end of this ginormous body of water, like on the other side of like a strait or something. There was like a big glacier avalanche landslide thing that happened, and it made the waves slam up against this mountain range, and you know things like that. So that is to say that emotions are powerful, no matter how big or small they might seem to be. They still have an effect. I mean, you could even think about global warming. um, Not to bring up anything that could be potentially divisive to whoever's listening, but global warming is real. I hate to break it to you. And I think the oceans have gone up by like 2 degrees Celsius, and it seems very, very minor, but it's like severely damaging to the the flora and fauna of the ocean, because it's calibrated to only exist within a certain temperature range in certain areas. So okay, water emotions. It's okay. So by letting them flow, and like with the fool, she's just diving right in. I think some of this is like, don't be afraid of your emotions. With the Knight of Pentacles, it's like baby steps. Um, and the Emperor, I think he's sitting on Mars, which is weird. Mars is, like a very masculine planet, but that's interesting. Oh, and then the little ram's skull in the back, that is Aries. Okay, that makes sense. But the flowing in the illustrations, and then my whole thing that I just went on a tangent about, let your emotions flow. Um, take little baby steps, pace yourself, but you need to let them flow. Split is like screaming at me. It's the Queen of Pentacles. She's back. Something's missing. Curious what this is. Ace of Pentacles. A lot of pentacle action here. Oh yeah, like you need to be properly grounded so that as you experience, like if you're a ship or a boat or a little a yacht, think big. Um, Vessels have to drop anchor so that they don't get swept away. Yeah. Okay. So some of you maybe have forgotten how to stay grounded. Yeah. Oh, and at the bottom here we have the King of Swords, which is the mate to the Queen. So with that same breakdown that I mentioned before uh, with the court cards, you have the masculine and the feminine aspect of like a mastery of the suit. With the King of Swords being here, it's asking you directly to like be rational and logical, I think. Wisdom. This is Al here, so wisdom definitely. And there's a lot of winged creatures here. We have an owl. There is a bat. There's a crow or a raven. I can't in this illustration, I can't tell the difference. And there's a firefly. There's a Native American tribe, where, like in the west coast of the US, where dragonflies are called higalule, and they are good luck. Sword too. I think this is saying that, in addition to like owls meaning wisdom, and then ravens or crows are seen as like messengers. Um, like in Norse mythology, messengers of Odin. So I think if you're calm, grounded, then you are able to interpret the messages from spirit that you're getting from your intuition. The divine truth can filter through. Interesting. Also, let me know down in the comment section if me saying bothers you. Because I've been quite anxious about how often I say it. I don't know why that is my go-to filler word. I think it is for a lot of people, but it just feels right, and I think that's why I use it so much. Kind of like, how people in meditation they say Om. I just say bottom here. Maintain fluidity. Oh, surrender, fluidity, welcoming change. I don't know where the maintain came from, but yeah, you don't get rocked by your emotions. You need to learn how to ebb and flow with the waves. That'll be like tremendous help to you just in everyday life, not even like in a spiritual sense. It's just good practical advice. Else in here? Okay. Oh, in the fifth house. That is, ooh, okay. That's creativity. You can help express some of these emotions through like a creative outlet. If there is just too much, or like you're afraid of your own emotions because they're just so big, like we're talking, mysterious tsunami type emotions, um, find a creative outlet to pour them into. Maybe, take a dance class, move your body, like, you know, physically channel your emotions. There's a bird here, it's singing. Maybe, sing your heart out. Just don't, like pop a blood vessel or, hurt a vocal cord. Um, there I go again. Keywords on this card, though: passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. I'm also hearing passion play. Maybe do theater. Act as if you were another person. That's like the benefit of theater. You can act out different characters, and you may find that the character that you're acting out, although you're nothing like them, they might represent a facet of yourself, like a subconscious part of yourself that you maybe didn't know you had. Maybe it feels good to express that. And Jupiter at the bottom here. Jupiter's about to go retrograde. Um, do not ask me the specific day. I just know it's this month. This is the 1st of November that I'm recording this. Sorry about the siren. I live in a city. But that also Maybe there's a sense of urgency about something. Or perhaps you are perceiving there is a sense of urgency about some aspect of your life, but you actually don't really need to be worried about it. So, I used to live in a rural area, and I hated hearing sirens because when you're in a small community where there's maybe like less than 5,000 people, when you hear a siren, there is a chance that it's going to be someone that you know, or like the circle of relationship. If it's not someone you know, then it's someone that you know who's affected by it. When you live in a city and you hear a siren, it is still sad. I'm not saying that I don't feel remorse, but the chances of you knowing who the ambulance or like the fire truck is for versus or if it's for like someone that you know knows who that is for, the numbers just go way down. So there's less of a chance that it's something that you need to be concerned about. I think that's why that just skated on through the reading. Is there one more card that we need? Oh, but Jupiter going retrograde. So Jupiter briefly dipped into Cancer. Speaking of oceans and emotions, and now it's going to retrograde back into Gemini, giving you in Vedic astrology, which is what I follow more often than not. Sometimes I dip into 13 sign with updated uh, planetary information like Pluto and Uranus. Vedic astrology doesn't use those because you can't see them with the naked eye. Sorry, tangent. So in Vedic astrology, when a planet retrogrades, you receive the benefits of that like sign and or house. And my mind is escaping me right now about this. This is something that that I know, but maybe I'm drawing a blank as Spirit doesn't want me to talk about it. But Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. It rules both Pisces and Sagittarius, so it's exalted in Cancer. And it is going to go back into Gemini. Also, when a planet goes retrograde, there is like it's an opportunity to review. Just like Mercury is about to go retrograde on the 10th, I believe. The planets also station before they go retrograde, as a way to like call attention to say like, hey, this is important. Get ready to um like look into this. Yeah. Um, the more I study astrology, the more I have come to learn that retrogrades are not something to be afraid of. It's just a shift in energy, it's a change. So you can say, I guess, that instead of fighting the flow, I'm learning to go with the flow. And the more you understand something, also, the less scary it is. That's for like any thing concept at all. The more you know about something, the less there is to fear. Although, there are some things where the more you find out about something, the scarier it is because you realize just how little you know about something. But you get over that if you're someone that likes learning. It's exciting sometimes realizing how little you know about something. Um. Anyway, where was I? Me rambling. Oh, it's temperance. Bottom. Balancing between light and dark, the sun and the moon. Okay. That jumped out. He's determined to be there. think I think it's about time to close out the reading. So that's Page of Swords on the bottom there. Pages are youthful, naive, new to something, trying something out for the first time, just getting started. So they've wonderfully executed the idea of the Page of Swords here, having an idea. That's one of the interpretations for the Page of Swords. Letting that idea carry you. Here we have, oh my goodness, we have the Ten of Cups. Goes wonderfully with that Ten of Pentacles, doesn't it? And I don't think I've ever pulled the Ten of Cups for this deck before. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's a beautiful card, actually. Yeah, I really like that one. And they're like sitting in the rainbow as opposed to standing in a meadow with a rainbow above them. Oh, and there's a little bass clef here. That goes back to that creativity can help you achieve this emotional euphoria. Yeah, they are being carried by these wonderful emotions. I think you need to let yourself do that within reason. Pace yourself. This Knight of Pentacles here. And also the Emperor. You gotta ground yourself. Oh, that's funny. We have the feminine on the left and the masculine on the right, as it is. Generally. That's amusing. We also have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is about, well, in the Rider-Waite Smith, it's three figures. There's two people in a boat and a ferryman guiding them across a river. And it can be interpreted as refugees being carried, across a river to someplace better. And I think that scene in this. Oh yeah, this girl has a suitcase. Yeah. I'm hearing the word sacrifice. Leaving something that is familiar to move into something new and unexpected and foreign. That that is a sacrifice, leaving behind things that you've known. But you're leaving it behind for something better. So it is, yeah, and welcoming change. You need to welcome change to be able to move on to this euphoria. Um, so I think the key here, because that's like the main bulk and body of this reading, is learning to get comfortable with your Oh, there's a lot of water stuff happening in this reading. When you get in a pool, or like any body of water when you're gonna swim, and it is cold at first. It's so cold. It's so uncomfortable. You want to get back out. But the longer you get in there and stay in there and move around, wade in the water, takes me back. Wade in the water. Anyway, so yeah, the longer you're in there, the more comfortable it is. It's a bit of a process. Everyone knows this. Um, but eventually it gets to the point, like especially when you're a little kid playing in the pool, and you don't want to get out. It's like the water's comfortable now. Getting out of the water, to jump back in, it's a little cold. Maybe you don't want to get out of the water. So I think that is to say that if you practice feeling your emotions and learn how to, ride the wave, just get in there. Um, Eventually, it will be very comfortable. It'll be second nature. They won't, toss you around and, make you lurch around and everything. Um, because you'll know how to flow with those emotions. Yeah. Well, gentle souls, I think that's the message for today. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. Maybe give like a little wave emoji in the comments so that I know who's watched this. Thank you very much. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for being here. And if you've seen my stuff before, welcome back. And thank you for being here and coming back. Also, doing personal readings. My schedule's a little tight, but I do want to learn how to work, doing personal readings into my busy schedule. Wanting to make room for things, and that is something that I want to do. So, if I don't have any clients, it'd be hard for me to make room for something that isn't there. So, I'm trying to create space so that the universe will bring people to me, but also, having a couple people here and there, because I'm human and kind of need something in order to start something. So, yeah. Alrighty, gentle souls. Love and light.